Hi folks, welcome. 12th of October. Just recently had a firing in my kiln here. Just thought I'd go through just quickly some of the pots with you. We won't make it a long clip. So yeah, this is basically what you see here is the contents of the kiln plus those few items on the shelf there. I've got a little light here I'm going to try and put on to assist us. Just to give a bit more light there. Yeah, as you can see, mainly all mugs. All these pots are available, by the way. If anybody's interested, just write to me. Raw saladin with ash on the outside, hakami and red iron oxide. Yeah, some of these from that you saw me spraying just recently with the wood ash. They came out fairly well. I'm not aware of any seconds with these. So yeah, so I've got quite a group of saladin tankards. These are also tankards, but with a brushed iron over the rim, but still saladin on the inside. Those, just a few of those. These ones, this one actually was bisqued. That one was a bisqued one. That one there, that was raw. That little problem that I did have that I showed you in previous videos, along the top here, along the lip where I had something going on, I wasn't quite sure what it was. I'm not seeing a repeat of that. So I think that my method of glazing the inside first has worked. Yeah, these come out quite handsome, I think. Let's have a look at the cone. The cone, yeah. I was just talking to somebody the other day about cones, and these are all cone 10s, of course, here. But the one on the right here is cooler. A cooler cone 10, and these are hotter cone 10s. This was the one out of this last firing we're looking at. So yeah, good melt. Some of these ones that I did from the previous firing, which were already done, a little bit heavy on the iron oxide there over the lip perhaps. It goes kind of a little bit purpley in colour. Those guys. Then yeah, these, some of the ones that had those stamps on with the wood ash, raw glazed. You know, you can do a lot of things to a pot, can't you? You can make it kind of busy with a lot of activity, a lot of now these ones here, yeah, a lot of activity in terms of decoration or surface treatment, you know. I quite like that actually, that effect. I'm sort of liking these, and you'll probably see me doing more of those in the coming weeks. So these are the iron slip with a milky glaze over the top. Plainer looking. Something's happened to this one here. It's got a blemish here on the side. Not quite sure what that was. Looks like some of the iron got removed there or something. Yeah, so more of those. Yeah, some of these came out actually quite handsome, didn't they? At least I think so. With that iron slip and then the sgraffito scratching through. I've got about six of those guys. So yeah, I got more of those, and then I got the traditional. These ones were bisqued. These were leftover bisqued Foxglove tankards. I've got a little group there of those. These are my field glaze, raw glazed again. These. Just a little something, I don't know if you can make out, just there on the lip, just under the lip there, a little, just up there. Not quite sure what that is or why that's occurred. It's very important, you know, after you've had a firing, have a look and try to think through the process and what's gone on. Yeah, well, that one is a second. Don't know if you can see there, just on the top of the handle, my fingernail there, you can hear it making. The handle is slightly coming off there. Yeah, that's unusual. Again, field glaze, but this time with the white slip and iron oxide and wood ash. That's a busier decoration, isn't it? Slightly. Kind of nice though in a way. Kind of like them. Here we are, field glaze. You see you've got a little running going on there. I don't mind that. What do you think? Do you mind it? Does it bother you? I don't mind it. Yeah. So those are those guys. This is the one here with some stamped, you know, going around the outside there. Alright, so that's that. Moving on, back shelf, we have one plate here that came out. Yeah, that worked quite nice. Couple of little jam pot affairs. Field glaze with wood ash blown over the outside. You notice it goes that bluey colour. Well, that's what happens if you put wood ash over that glaze. It does do that. Pouring bowl. Cheapy. This was quite nice. I quite liked it. Although the glaze on the inside had not quite properly. I don't know if you can see it there. It's not quite properly melted, has it? But nevertheless, quite a nice. Yeah, I like the form of the pot. Just wood ash blown, a faceted design, you know. And we had a creamer small pitcher, a little another small little footed bowl. That was actually bisque fired, basically like a white slip under a sort of semi-transparent glaze. Alright, up here, saladin cylinder vase, fluted in saladin. Quite nice. Yep. Put that at the end there. Alright, here, little oil lamp with a shellacked menorah design there. That's for olive oil with a small wick out the spout here. Saladin, engraved design there. Yeah, that's quite a nice little tea bowl. These came out really quite nicely. I did actually have some seconds of these. I've already taken them inside, but they did have some cracks in the neck on the inside down in here, which looked like a stress crack, which I think occurred because of the throwing. But That is classic iron slips graffito with a white glaze over the top. Can be very satisfactory result that you can get with that. So basically I've got several here, different different designs of that. That was a nice little number, I thought. I'm looking through the lens of my camera now as I'm looking down. I'm seeing the lens of the camera does tend to distort the image of the true shape of the pot sometimes. Field glaze, but with a paddled and wood ash design over the outside. Yeah, reasonable. Quite happy with that, I suppose. Yeah. Kind of engraved and paddled design on the outside of that. That's field glaze from that field just over there, past my black Subaru, just over there. Alright, but it's got a little bit of feldspar and wood ash added to it. That's quite a nice little pot there. I think that'll be sold quite soon if I'm not careful. So that's it. That's the firing, folks. Quick look at the chart here. So pyro went over on the pyro at 2298, which of course the pyro is not the true temperature, but started reduction at 2058 on the pyro. 90% raw pots. Finished at midnight, and I had a little bit of oxidization in places, I think. Cracking on the top of the bud vases, some stress cracks. Yes, what's that? Wood ash spray, not great with the new sprayer I've put. It's not bad actually. The sprayer I'm using at the moment, which was kindly sent to me by Robert out in California, I just haven't got the hang of using it yet quite. It's very easy to, if I can show you an example. It puts a much finer spray which makes the pot go darker in colour. You notice this dark brown, and then it very easily does that. You see it runs down, which is okay. I don't mind running. It's just sort of gauging. That's quite reduced. That's quite heavily reduced. And actually here, yeah, these are well reduced. It's a rather nice brown, dark brown colour. They're not all as reduced as that. That one there, for example, is, if you look at the bottom of it, you can see the clay. Let's just do a comparison. One of these ones I just looked at. Let's put those side by side there. I don't know if it's coming out in the camera, but this one on the right side here is darker than this one. It's darker. That one is not quite so dark as well. So yeah, so that was it basically. Yeah, if anybody is interested in any of these mugs, get in touch, or anything else here. I'll tell you if it's available. These are some of the pots here. These were some that were left over. In fact, those ones there are field glaze. So you can see basically, if I put that one down beside that one, you can see there, you can see the shrinkage from raw, alright, from raw down to glazed. You can see the powdery wood ash on the surface here, and then that's what it looks like once it's fired. It is a very attractive. I think these were done with my hand blower, not my hand, my own puff, not with that sprayer. But I can see there's a little bit of oxidization going on there as well. Yeah. Yes, it's a learning curve, isn't it? Always with these things. You have to scrutinise what's happened with the results afterwards and try to have a definite... Got to be a bit of a Sherlock Holmes, you know. Turn that guy off. Thanks for joining us. I shall be offering, my workshop schedule is coming to an end. My regular 2-day workshops. I think the last one is in November 4th and 5th. But I thought I was going to offer what I call triple one workshops. Triple one? What's that, Simon? That sounds a bit technical. Triple one, that's 1 day, one-on-one. 1 day, one-on-one workshop. So if you just can only come for 1 day and you can't manage a 2-day and you don't mind being one-on-one, it works out just a little bit more expensive. It's like $185 for the day. But whereas if you were coming on a 2-day, it would work out at $160 for a 2-day workshop in a group in, say, 4 or 5 other people. But if you have a one-on-one, I'll do it for $185. How about that for a bargain? No, seriously, if that interests you, and I can pretty much do that at any time, so it's not restricted to a fixed date on the calendar. You can call me up and we can discuss when it's mutually a good time for both of us. Alright, and then go from there. So there's a little bit more flexibility there, you see, and it's a little cheaper. So for some people, you know, who are a bit pinched for money, as we all can be at times, then you know, it just offers that a little bit more flexibility. So if that's something that interests you, get in touch. And whether you come for the day and spend a night, or whether you're close enough and you don't need to spend a night, you know, there are different options, bed and breakfast options here as well. So think on that one, get back to me, give me some feedback if you think that's a good idea or not. Just lastly, before I go, I'm just looking at here behind the camera down here. There was a second actually that I omitted to show you, and we had this is a pot I'd had knocking around in here, and I had a glaze on it, and I knew it was a runny type glaze. I mean, I didn't realise it was going to be quite as runny as it turned out to be. It was a pot that I did an indentation, you see, and then put the handle over the indentation. It's a way of putting a handle, so it's quite comfortable to use, and the handle doesn't stick out quite so much. But this guy, unfortunately, it ran. In fact, it's got a hole in the shelf. So I've got to grind all this down and backwash it over, grind off the bottom of the mug. I guess the mug will go in the house. But it's actually very, but I tell you, that's a very comfortable mug to hold, because the handle is closer to the center of the pot, you see. The closer the handle is to the center, the easier it is to lift up, and it just feels comfy. Yeah, it got a bit too hot, didn't it, for that glaze? Because I think that was unwashed wood ash I used on that one. And if you want to raise the melting point of an ash glaze, you need to let it settle out a bit and then scoop off the water, add fresh water, keep doing that and you'll raise the temperature of the glaze. So you can see it's really run. Anyway, I'll just to show you that for interests. Okay folks, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope that wasn't too long. Keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.